Welcome back to Drowsy Tales Daily. Tonight I have 35 incredible stories from Reddit about the deceptive world of online dating, where people create elaborate fake personas and sophisticated schemes to manipulate others emotionally and financially through digital deception that sometimes continues for months or even years. Our first story comes from someone who discovered they had been targeted by a romance scammer using stolen military photographs and fabricated deployment stories to create a compelling but completely false romantic persona. The scammer had carefully selected official military photos from social media accounts and public military websites, creating a detailed profile of a deployed service member who supposedly needed emotional support and financial assistance while serving overseas. The military romance scam involved sophisticated knowledge of military terminology, deployment procedures, and communication restrictions that would make the fake persona appear authentic to civilians who weren't familiar with actual military operations and protocols. The scammer had been particularly focused on targeting individuals who expressed support for military personnel and who had indicated through social media activity that they were emotionally vulnerable and potentially generous with financial assistance for people in supposed need. The scheme extended to creating elaborate stories about military pay delays, emergency medical situations, and communication difficulties that would justify requests for money transfers and gift card purchases while explaining why video calls and phone conversations weren't possible. The scammer had also been using multiple social media accounts and dating profiles to maintain the illusion of an authentic military service member, including fake family photos and staged deployment images that would support their fabricated identity. The military romance scam was discovered when the victim decided to research military deployment procedures and discovered that many of the scammer's claims about communication restrictions and financial procedures were completely inconsistent with actual military policies, leading to reverse image searches that revealed the stolen photographs and fake identity. Our second story involves a catfish who created an elaborate fake doctor profile targeting wealthy singles through exclusive dating applications and professional networking platforms. The catfish had researched medical terminology and healthcare industry details extensively, creating a convincing persona of a successful physician with substantial income and prestigious professional credentials that would appeal to individuals seeking financially secure romantic partners. The fake doctor profile scheme involved sophisticated understanding of medical education, licensing procedures, and healthcare industry culture that would make conversations and interactions appear authentic to people who weren't familiar with actual medical practice and professional requirements. The catfish had been particularly focused on targeting individuals who worked in complementary professional fields where medical knowledge would be impressive but not easily verified through casual conversation or social interactions. The scheme extended to creating fake medical practice websites, forged credentials, and even staged professional photographs that would support the fraudulent medical professional identity during online research and background verification attempts. The catfish had also been using their supposed medical expertise to provide health advice and emotional support that would create deeper emotional connections while positioning themselves as knowledgeable and caring individuals worthy of trust and romantic investment. The fake doctor catfish operation was discovered when a targeted individual decided to verify professional credentials through official medical licensing databases and discovered that the supposed physician's license and education claims were completely fabricated, leading to investigation that revealed the entire medical professional identity was false. Our third story comes from a dating app user who discovered they had been communicating with someone using celebrity photographs and fabricated lifestyle content to create an impossibly attractive and successful romantic persona. The catfish had carefully selected celebrity photos that featured less recognizable individuals and had created elaborate backstories that would explain their glamorous appearance and luxurious lifestyle, while avoiding immediate recognition of the stolen celebrity images. The celebrity photo catfish scheme involved sophisticated photo editing and social media content creation that would make the fake persona appear to live an authentic high-end lifestyle with expensive travel, luxury possessions, and exclusive social activities that would appeal to potential romantic targets. The catfish had been particularly careful to select celebrity images from international sources and lesser-known personalities who wouldn't be immediately recognized by most dating app users in their geographic area. reducing the risk of immediate discovery through reverse image searches or celebrity recognition. The scheme extended to creating elaborate explanations for why in-person meetings and video calls weren't immediately possible, including claims about busy professional schedules, international travel, and privacy concerns that would delay face-to-face verification of their identity. The Catfish had also been researching the personal interests and preferences of their targets, tailoring conversations and shared experiences to create maximum emotional connection while avoiding topics that might expose their lack of authentic knowledge about the lifestyle they were claiming to live. The celebrity photo catfish was discovered when the target decided to reverse search some of the profile photos and identified the images as belonging to a well-known international model, leading to realization that the entire persona and relationship had been based on stolen celebrity content and fabricated lifestyle claims. Our fourth story involves a married individual who was operating multiple secret dating profiles across various platforms while maintaining their marriage and family relationships through elaborate scheduling and identity management systems. The married catfish had created detailed personas for different dating platforms, targeting various demographic groups and relationship types, while ensuring that their actual married identity remained completely hidden from all romantic targets and online dating activities. The multiple secret profile scheme involved sophisticated time management and communication strategies that would allow simultaneous romantic relationships with multiple people while avoiding schedule conflicts and identity exposure that could reveal their actual marital status and family obligations. The married catfish had been particularly focused on targeting individuals who were seeking serious long-term relationships, essentially providing false hope for meaningful romantic connections while having no intention of leaving their existing marriage or providing authentic relationship opportunities. The scheme extended to creating fake work schedules and travel commitments that would explain limited availability for in-person meetings while maintaining active online communication with multiple romantic targets across different platforms and geographic areas. The married catfish had also been using different personality traits and interests for each profile, essentially creating multiple fictional identities that would appeal to different types of potential romantic partners while ensuring that none of the targets would discover connections between the various fake profiles. The multiple secret profile operation was discovered when one of the targets happened to see the catfish with their actual spouse and family in a public location, leading to investigation of their true identity and discovery of the extensive network of false dating profiles and simultaneous romantic deceptions. Our fifth story comes from someone who discovered they had been targeted by a sophisticated romance scammer who specialized in creating fake emergency situations that required immediate financial assistance from emotionally invested romantic targets. The scammer had developed a detailed understanding of emotional manipulation techniques and had created elaborate personal backstories that would make emergency financial requests appear legitimate and urgent to people who had developed romantic feelings and emotional attachments. The emergency money request scam involved carefully timed crisis scenarios that would escalate gradually, starting with small financial requests for minor emergencies and building to major crisis situations that supposedly required substantial financial assistance to resolve safely. The scammer had been particularly skilled at creating believable emergency scenarios that would trigger protective instincts and emotional responses, including medical emergencies, travel difficulties, and family crisis situations that would justify urgent money transfers and financial assistance. The scheme extended to providing false documentation and staged evidence for emergency situations, including fake medical bills, fraudulent travel documents, and even staged emergency phone calls from supposed family members or medical personnel who would verify the crisis situations and financial needs. The scammer had also been researching their targets' financial situations and emotional vulnerabilities, timing emergency requests to coincide with periods when targets would be most likely to provide financial assistance without extensive verification or consideration of potential fraud. The emergency money scam was discovered when the target decided to verify one of the supposed emergency situations through independent research and discovered that medical facilities and travel companies mentioned in the crisis scenario didn't exist, leading to realization that all emergency requests had been completely fabricated to extract money through emotional manipulation. Our sixth story involves a catfish who created an elaborate fake successful entrepreneur profile, designed to attract romantic partners who were interested in financially successful and ambitious individuals. The fake entrepreneur Catfish had researched business terminology and startup culture extensively, creating a convincing persona of someone who had achieved significant business success and was actively involved in multiple profitable ventures and investment opportunities. The fake entrepreneur scheme involved sophisticated understanding of business operations, investment strategies, and entrepreneurial culture that would make conversations and interactions appear authentic to people who weren't deeply familiar with actual business development and startup environments. The Catfish had been particularly focused on targeting individuals who worked in professional fields where business acumen would be impressive and attractive, creating romantic appeal through supposed financial success and business intelligence rather than traditional physical attractiveness or personality traits. The scheme extended to creating fake business websites, fraudulent success stories, and even staged business meetings and events that would support the entrepreneurial identity during deeper investigation and relationship development with romantic targets. The Catfish had also been using their supposed business expertise to provide career advice and professional networking opportunities that would create additional value for romantic targets while deepening emotional connections and trust relationships. The fake entrepreneur Catfish operation was discovered when a romantic target decided to research the supposed business ventures and discovered that companies and investment opportunities mentioned in conversations didn't exist in any legitimate business databases, leading to investigation that revealed the entire entrepreneurial identity was fabricated. Our seventh story comes from someone who discovered their friend was being impersonated by a catfish who had stolen their photographs and personal information to create fake dating profiles without their knowledge or consent. The catfish had systematically harvested photos from the friend's social media accounts and had created detailed personal backstories using information gathered from online profiles and social media activity to create convincing but unauthorized dating personas. The friend photo theft scheme involved sophisticated social media research and content curation that would provide enough authentic personal details to make conversations and interactions appear genuine while avoiding topics that might expose the catfish's lack of actual knowledge about the person they were impersonating. The catfish had been particularly careful to target romantic prospects in geographic areas where the actual person being impersonated wouldn't be likely to be recognized or encountered in person, reducing the risk of discovery through accidental meetings or social connections. The scheme extended to creating fake social media accounts and online presence that would support the stolen identity during background research and verification attempts by potential romantic targets who were investigating their online dating matches. The catfish had also been intercepting and redirecting communications that might expose their impersonations, including monitoring social media activity and even contacting mutual friends to gather additional personal information that would make their impersonation more convincing and harder to detect. The friend impersonation catfish was discovered when someone who matched with the fake profile happened to know the actual person being impersonated and contacted them directly about their dating profile activity, leading to realization that their identity and photos were being used without permission for fraudulent romantic deception. Our eighth story involves a catfish who was systematically manipulating their age and appearance through decades-old photographs and fabricated personal history to target romantic partners in different age demographics. The age manipulation catfish had carefully selected photos from various periods of their life and had created elaborate explanations for their youthful appearance while claiming to be significantly younger than their actual age to access dating pools and romantic opportunities that wouldn't normally be available to them. The age manipulation scheme involved sophisticated photo editing and social media content creation that would support false age claims while avoiding current photos that would reveal their actual age and appearance to potential romantic partners. The catfish had been particularly focused on targeting individuals who were seeking romantic partners within specific age ranges, essentially misrepresenting their generational identity and life stage to access romantic opportunities that were intended for people in different demographic categories. The scheme extended to creating false educational and career timelines that would support their fabricated age claims, including fake graduation dates and professional achievements that would align with their supposed birth year and life chronology. The catfish had also been researching cultural references and generational experiences that would allow them to convincingly participate in conversations about shared experiences and memories that should correspond to their claimed age and background. The age manipulation catfish operation was discovered when inconsistencies in cultural knowledge and personal history began accumulating during extended conversations, leading to research that revealed the dramatic difference between their claimed age and actual identity. Our ninth story comes from someone who discovered they had been emotionally manipulated by a catfish using a fabricated widower story designed to generate sympathy and emotional connection while avoiding commitments and in-person meetings. The fake widower catfish had created an elaborate backstory about losing a spouse in tragic circumstances, using this supposed tragedy to explain emotional unavailability, difficulty with commitment, and reluctance to engage in normal dating activities like regular phone calls and in-person meetings. The fake widower scheme involved sophisticated emotional manipulation techniques that would generate protective instincts and patient understanding from romantic targets who believed they were helping someone heal from genuine grief and loss. The catfish had been particularly skilled at balancing emotional vulnerability with just enough romantic interest to maintain engagement while using the supposed grief process to excuse inconsistent communication and relationship development patterns. The scheme extended to creating fake memorial content and staged grief expressions that would support the widower identity during deeper emotional connections and relationship progression with romantic targets who were invested in providing emotional support. The catfish had also been researching genuine grief processes and widow support resources to make their supposed healing journey appear authentic and convincing to people who weren't familiar with actual bereavement experiences and recovery patterns. The fake widower catfish was discovered when inconsistencies in the supposed spouse's death story began accumulating over time, leading to research that revealed the tragic loss narrative was completely fabricated to manipulate emotional responses and avoid normal relationship expectations. Our 10th story involves a catfish who was using sophisticated location spoofing technology to appear local to romantic targets while actually living in completely different geographic areas or even different countries. The location spoofing catfish had researched local culture, landmarks, and community details extensively to create convincing local knowledge while using technology to make their dating profiles appear to be from the same geographic area as their romantic targets. The location spoofing scheme involved sophisticated understanding of GPS manipulation and dating app location services that would make false location claims appear authentic to both dating platforms and potential romantic partners who were specifically seeking local relationship opportunities. The catfish had been particularly focused on targeting individuals who had explicitly stated preferences for local dating and who weren't interested in long-distance relationships, essentially bypassing geographic preferences through technological deception. The scheme extended to creating fake local social media check-ins and location-based content that would support their supposed local residents during background research and verification attempts by romantic targets who were investigating potential dating partners. The catfish had also been researching local events and community activities that would allow them to participate in conversations about shared local experiences while avoiding commitments to attend actual local events or meetings that would expose their true geographic location. The location spoofing operation was discovered when the romantic target suggested meeting at a specific local venue, and the catfish's unfamiliarity with basic local details that any genuine resident would know became obvious during the conversation. Our 11th story comes from someone who discovered their romantic interest was using completely fabricated job and income documentation to create false impressions of financial stability and professional success. The fake income catfish had created elaborate employment stories and financial documentation designed to appeal to romantic partners who were seeking financially secure relationships and professional compatibility. The fake job documentation scheme involved sophisticated understanding of various industries and professional environments that would make employment claims appear authentic during casual conversation while avoiding topics that might expose actual lack of professional knowledge or industry experience. The catfish had been particularly focused on claiming employment in prestigious industries and high-income professions that would create romantic appeal and relationship desirability while avoiding verification through professional networking or workplace interactions. The scheme extended to creating fake pay stubs, fraudulent tax documents, and even staged workplace communications that would support false income claims during deeper relationship development and potential cohabitation discussions that might involve financial verification. The Catfish had also been researching specific companies and professional roles to make employment claims appear credible while avoiding commitments to workplace events or professional networking that might expose their actual employment status and income level. The fake income documentation fraud was discovered when the romantic target noticed inconsistencies between claimed professional knowledge and actual industry understanding, leading to verification attempts that revealed the employment and income claims were completely fabricated. Our 12th story involves a catfish who had recruited family members and friends to participate in their deception by making verification phone calls and providing fake character references for their fraudulent romantic persona. The accomplice catfish network had created elaborate role-playing scenarios where multiple people would participate in maintaining the false identity by posing as co-workers, family members, and friends who could verify personal details and character claims during romantic relationship development. The accomplice phone call scheme involved sophisticated coordination and scripted conversations that would provide convincing verification for personal details and background claims while avoiding inconsistencies that might expose the collaborative nature of the deception. The Catfish had been particularly focused on creating comprehensive support networks that could handle various types of verification requests and background checks that romantic targets might conduct during relationship progression and emotional investment. The scheme extended to creating fake social events and group activities where accomplices would participate in maintaining the false persona through staged interactions and planned conversations that would support the fraudulent identity during video calls and group communications. The accomplice network had also been trained to handle emergency situations and unexpected verification requests that might arise during the course of the romantic deception, ensuring consistent story maintenance across multiple participants and communication channels. The accomplice catfish operation was discovered when one of the participants accidentally revealed information that contradicted previous claims, leading to investigation that exposed the coordinated network of people who were actively participating in maintaining the fraudulent romantic persona. Our 13th story comes from someone who discovered they had been communicating with a catfish who had stolen the complete identity of another person, including personal documents and detailed life history, to create an authentic but unauthorized dating persona. The stolen identity catfish had gained access to personal documents, social media accounts, and even financial information that allowed them to create comprehensive fake profiles using another person's actual life details and authentic documentation. The stolen identity scheme involved sophisticated identity theft techniques that went far beyond simple photo theft to include comprehensive personal information that would pass most background verification attempts and casual investigation by romantic targets. The catfish had been particularly focused on stealing identities from people who lived in different geographic areas or who had limited online presence, reducing the risk of discovery through social connections or accidental encounters with the actual person being impersonated. The scheme extended to using stolen financial information and personal documents to support false identity claims while potentially damaging the credit and reputation of the actual person whose identity was being fraudulently used for romantic deception. The catfish had also been monitoring the actual person's social media and online activity to stay current with authentic life details that would support their impersonation during ongoing romantic relationships and deeper personal connections. The stolen identity catfish was discovered when the romantic target decided to conduct comprehensive background verification and discovered discrepancies in personal information that led to contact with the actual person whose identity was being fraudulently used. Our 14th story involves a catfish who was creating elaborate fake travel photographs and lifestyle documentation to support claims of an exciting and adventurous lifestyle designed to attract romantic partners seeking interesting and dynamic relationships. The fake travel lifestyle catfish had become expert at photo manipulation and staged lifestyle content creation, using various techniques to create convincing travel documentation and adventure experiences that had never actually occurred. The fake travel scheme involved sophisticated understanding of photo editing and social media content creation that would make fabricated travel experiences appear authentic, while avoiding verification through location details and travel documentation that could be independently confirmed. The Catfish had been particularly focused on creating travel experiences and lifestyle content that would appeal to romantic targets who valued adventure and cultural experiences, essentially marketing themselves as worldly and exciting romantic partners through completely fabricated lifestyle documentation. The scheme extended to creating fake cultural knowledge and travel experiences that would support claims about international adventures while avoiding commitments to actual travel or cultural activities that might expose their lack of authentic experience. The Catfish had also been researching popular travel destinations and cultural experiences to make conversations about supposed adventures appear credible while avoiding details that might be verified through actual travel experience or cultural knowledge. The fake travel lifestyle catfish was discovered when inconsistencies in cultural knowledge and travel details began accumulating during extended conversations about supposed international experiences, leading to investigation that revealed the travel documentation and lifestyle claims were completely fabricated. Our 15th story comes from someone who discovered they had been targeted by a romance scammer who specifically focused on elderly singles through dating platforms and social media connections designed for mature adults. The elderly targeting romance scammer had researched the emotional vulnerabilities and social isolation issues common among older adults, creating romantic personas specifically designed to appeal to seniors who might be grieving spouses or dealing with family isolation. The elderly romance scam involved sophisticated understanding of generational communication preferences and cultural references that would create authentic connections with older adults while exploiting their potential unfamiliarity with online dating fraud and digital deception techniques. The scammer had been particularly focused on targeting individuals who had substantial retirement savings and property assets that could be accessed through romantic manipulation and financial exploitation disguised as legitimate relationship development. The scheme extended to creating elaborate health crisis scenarios and family emergency situations that would trigger protective instincts and generous financial responses from elderly targets who believed they were helping genuine romantic partners through difficult circumstances. The scammer had also been researching estate planning and inheritance procedures to position themselves for long-term financial exploitation that could continue for years through romantic manipulation and potential marriage fraud. The elderly targeting romance scam was discovered when family members noticed unusual financial activity and romantic communications that seemed inconsistent with normal dating patterns, leading to investigation that revealed systematic financial exploitation disguised as romantic relationship development. Our 16th story involves a catfish who was operating multiple distinct personality profiles across different dating platforms, essentially creating a portfolio of romantic personas designed to appeal to various demographic groups and relationship preferences. The multiple personality catfish had developed sophisticated character creation and maintenance systems that allowed simultaneous operation of completely different romantic identities with distinct personality traits, interests, and life stories tailored to different target audiences. The multiple personality scheme involved sophisticated time management and identity coordination that would prevent cross-contamination between different personas, while maintaining consistent character development and relationship progression across multiple simultaneous romantic deceptions. The catfish had been particularly focused on maximizing romantic opportunities by targeting different demographic groups that would be attracted to different personality types and relationship styles, essentially operating a comprehensive romantic deception business across multiple platforms. The scheme extended to creating different social media presence and online documentation for each persona, ensuring that background verification would support each distinct identity while avoiding connections that might reveal the coordinated nature of the multiple personality operation. The catfish had also been developing expertise in psychology and personality types to make each persona appear authentic and emotionally compelling to their respective target audiences while avoiding personality inconsistencies that might expose the artificial nature of the romantic identities. The multiple personality catfish operation was discovered when targets from different platforms happened to compare notes about their romantic experiences and realized they were all communicating with variations of the same person using different names and personalities. Our 17th story comes from someone who discovered they had been targeted by a catfish posing as a college student specifically to attract older individuals seeking sugar daddy relationships through age gap dating platforms. The fake college student Catfish had researched university culture and academic terminology extensively to create a convincing student persona that would appeal to individuals seeking to provide financial support in exchange for romantic or companionship relationships. The fake college student scheme involved sophisticated understanding of academic environments and student financial challenges that would make requests for educational support and living expense assistance appear legitimate and worthy of generous financial investment. The Catfish had been particularly focused on targeting individuals who had expressed interest in mentoring relationships and who had substantial disposable income that could be directed towards supposed educational expenses and student living costs. The scheme extended to creating fake academic documentation and university communications that would support student identity claims during verification attempts and relationship development with potential financial supporters. The Catfish had also been researching specific universities and academic programs to make educational claims appear credible while avoiding commitments to campus activities or academic verification that might expose their actual non-student status. The fake college student Catfish was discovered when the target decided to verify academic enrollment through university records and discovered that the supposed student had never been enrolled in any legitimate educational institution. Our 18th story involves a catfish who was using sophisticated deepfake technology and advanced photo manipulation to create convincing fake photographs that would pass casual inspection while supporting completely fabricated physical appearance claims. The deepfake catfish had invested in professional photo editing software and AI technology that allowed creation of realistic but false photographs that would appear authentic during normal online dating interactions and casual background verification attempts. The deepfake manipulation scheme involved sophisticated technical skills and expensive software that would create convincing visual deception while avoiding detection through standard reverse image searches and basic photo verification techniques used by most online dating participants. The Catfish had been particularly focused on creating idealized physical appearance that would maximize romantic appeal while maintaining enough realism to avoid obvious artificial manipulation that might trigger suspicion from potential romantic targets. The scheme extended to creating dynamic photo content and varied poses that would support the false physical identity through comprehensive visual documentation that would satisfy extended relationship development and photo sharing typical in romantic relationships. The Catfish had also been researching photo forensics and detection techniques to ensure their manipulated images would pass increasingly sophisticated verification methods used by cautious online dating participants. The deepfake catfish operation was discovered when advances in deepfake detection technology revealed the artificial nature of the profile photographs, leading to investigation that exposed the comprehensive visual deception designed to support completely false physical identity claims. Our 19th story comes from someone who discovered they had been manipulated by a romance scammer who specialized in creating fake family emergency scenarios that required immediate financial assistance from emotionally invested romantic partners. The family emergency scammer had developed detailed understanding of family crisis situations and emergency response procedures, creating believable crisis scenarios that would trigger immediate financial responses from romantic targets who believed they were helping genuine emergencies. The fake family emergency scheme involved sophisticated emotional manipulation techniques that would escalate gradually from minor family problems to major crisis situations that supposedly required substantial financial intervention to resolve safely and protect innocent family members. The scammer had been particularly skilled at creating believable emergency scenarios involving children, elderly parents, and serious medical situations that would trigger protective instincts and generous financial responses from romantic targets who had developed emotional attachments and caring relationships. The scheme extended to providing false documentation and staged evidence for family emergencies, including fake medical communications, fraudulent legal documents, and even staged emergency phone calls from supposed family members who would verify crisis situations and financial needs. The scammer had also been researching their target's own family situations and emotional vulnerabilities, timing emergency requests to coincide with periods when targets would be most emotionally responsive to family crisis scenarios and most likely to provide immediate financial assistance. The family emergency scam was discovered when the target decided to independently verify one of the supposed crisis situations and discovered that medical facilities and legal agencies mentioned in the emergency scenario were fictional leading to realization that all family crisis situations had been fabricated to extract money through emotional manipulation. Our 20th story involves a catfish who had developed sophisticated scripted response systems and professional quality deception techniques that made their romantic communications appear genuine and spontaneous, while actually following carefully planned manipulation strategies. The professional scripted catfish had studied psychology and relationship development extensively, creating systematic approaches to romantic manipulation that would maximize emotional investment while minimizing the risk of detection through inconsistent communication or personality changes. The scripted response scheme involved comprehensive planning and systematic emotional manipulation that would guide romantic relationships through predictable stages while maintaining the appearance of spontaneous and authentic romantic development. The catfish had been particularly focused on creating emotional dependency and investment that would make romantic targets reluctant to question inconsistencies or pursue verification activities that might expose the systematic nature of the romantic manipulation. The scheme extended to developing multiple communication strategies for different relationship stages and target personality types, essentially creating a professional romantic deception business with systematic approaches and predictable outcomes. The catfish had also been documenting successful manipulation techniques and refining their deception strategies based on feedback from multiple simultaneous romantic relationships and financial exploitation outcomes. The professional scripted catfish operation was discovered when romantic targets began comparing notes about their relationship experiences and realized they had all received identical communications and followed identical relationship development patterns that revealed the systematic nature of the romantic deception. Our 21st story comes from someone who discovered they had been targeted by a revenge catfish who was using romantic deception to gather personal information and create emotional damage as retaliation for perceived wrongs in previous relationships or social conflicts. The revenge catfish had carefully researched their target's romantic preferences and emotional vulnerabilities, creating a fake persona specifically designed to attract maximum emotional investment before revealing the deception and causing deliberate psychological harm. The revenge catfish scheme involved sophisticated understanding of emotional manipulation and psychological damage techniques that would create maximum emotional trauma while avoiding legal consequences for deliberate emotional abuse and deception. The catfish had been particularly focused on gathering embarrassing personal information and intimate communications that could be used for ongoing harassment and reputation damage after the romantic deception was revealed and the revenge motivation was exposed. The scheme extended to creating fake social connections and romantic networks that would amplify the emotional damage and social embarrassment when the deception was revealed and the artificial nature of the romantic relationship was exposed to mutual friends and social contacts. The catfish had also been documenting the emotional manipulation process and romantic development stages to maximize the psychological impact when the deception was revealed and the revenge motivation was explained to the target. The revenge catfish operation was discovered when the target recognized inconsistencies that seemed designed to create confusion and emotional distress rather than maintain romantic deception, leading to investigation that revealed the deliberate nature of the emotional manipulation and revenge motivation. Our 22nd story involves a catfish who was using fake single-parent sympathy scenarios to generate emotional connections and financial support from romantic targets who were attracted to individuals seeking help with child-rearing responsibilities and family financial challenges. The fake single-parent catfish had researched parenting challenges and child development extensively to create convincing parental personas that would appeal to individuals seeking family-oriented relationships and who were willing to provide financial and emotional support for supposed children. The single-parent sympathy scheme involved sophisticated understanding of parenting costs and family challenges that would make financial requests appear legitimate and urgent while avoiding verification through actual child-related activities or school communications that could expose the fake parental status. The catfish had been particularly focused on targeting individuals who had expressed interest in family relationships and who had substantial financial resources that could be directed towards supposed child support and family expenses. The scheme extended to creating fake school communications and child-related expenses that would support parental identity claims while generating ongoing financial requests for educational costs, medical expenses, and family emergency situations. The catfish had also been researching child development and parenting terminology to make conversations about supposed children appear authentic, while avoiding commitments to family activities or child-related verification that might expose their actual non-parent status. The fake single-parent catfish was discovered when the target requested to meet the supposed children and the catfish was unable to provide legitimate child verification or family interaction opportunities. Our 23rd story comes from someone who discovered they had been targeted by a sophisticated investment opportunity romance scammer who combined romantic manipulation with fraudulent business propositions designed to extract substantial financial investments from emotionally attached romantic partners. The investment romance scammer had developed comprehensive understanding of investment terminology and business development procedures, creating believable investment opportunities that would appeal to romantic targets seeking both romantic relationships and financial growth opportunities. The investment opportunity scheme involved sophisticated financial manipulation techniques that would gradually introduce business investment concepts during romantic relationship development, positioning the scammer as both romantic partner and financial advisor worthy of substantial investment trust. The scammer had been particularly focused on targeting individuals with substantial investment capital and retirement savings that could be accessed through romantic manipulation combined with false business opportunities and investment propositions. The scheme extended to creating fake business documentation and fraudulent investment tracking that would support false business claims while providing apparent investment returns that would encourage additional financial investment in fraudulent business ventures. The scammer had also been researching legitimate investment strategies and business development procedures to make investment conversations appear credible while avoiding verification through actual business operations or investment performance that could be independently confirmed. The investment romance scam was discovered when the target decided to independently verify business claims and investment opportunities, discovering that all business ventures and investment propositions were completely fabricated to extract money through combined romantic and financial manipulation. Our 24th story involves a catfish who was using fabricated immigration status and visa difficulties to generate sympathy and financial support from romantic targets while creating believable explanations for communication limitations and meeting restrictions. The fake immigration catfish had researched immigration procedures and visa requirements extensively to create convincing stories about legal status challenges that would appeal to individuals willing to provide support for supposed immigration difficulties and legal expenses. The immigration sympathy scheme involved sophisticated understanding of immigration law and visa procedures that would make legal status claims appear authentic while avoiding verification through actual immigration documentation or legal proceedings that could expose the false immigration narrative. The catfish had been particularly focused on targeting individuals who had expressed support for immigration issues and who had substantial financial resources that could be directed towards supposed legal fees and immigration-related expenses. The scheme extended to creating fake legal communications and immigration documentation that would support visa difficulty claims while generating ongoing financial requests for legal assistance and immigration processing costs. The catfish had also been researching specific immigration procedures and legal requirements to make immigration conversations appear credible while avoiding commitments to actual legal proceedings or immigration verification that might expose their actual legal status. The fake immigration catfish was discovered when the target decided to research immigration procedures and discovered that legal claims and visa requirements mentioned in conversations were inconsistent with actual immigration law and processing procedures. Our 25th story comes from someone who discovered they had been manipulated by a catfish who was using professional dating coach strategies and systematic relationship development techniques to create artificial romantic connections and extract maximum emotional and financial investment from multiple targets simultaneously. The dating coach strategy catfish had studied relationship psychology and romantic development extensively, creating systematic approaches to emotional manipulation that would maximize romantic investment while maintaining multiple simultaneous relationships through efficient time management and communication strategies. The systematic relationship scheme involved sophisticated understanding of relationship psychology and emotional dependency creation that would accelerate romantic development while avoiding detection through inconsistent communication or relationship management that might expose the artificial nature of the romantic connections. The catfish had been particularly focused on creating emotional dependency and financial investment that would continue even after relationship problems developed, essentially creating addictive romantic patterns that would be difficult for targets to abandon despite obvious red flags and inconsistencies. The scheme extended to developing multiple relationship management strategies for different personality types and emotional vulnerabilities, essentially operating a professional romantic manipulation business with systematic approaches and predictable financial outcomes. The catfish had also been documenting successful manipulation techniques and relationship development strategies based on outcomes from multiple simultaneous romantic relationships and financial exploitation results. The dating coach strategy catfish operation was discovered when romantic targets began sharing their relationship experiences and realized they had all been subjected to identical manipulation techniques and relationship development patterns that revealed the systematic professional nature of the romantic deception. Our 26th story involves a catfish who was operating a comprehensive multi-platform romance farming operation that systematically targeted individuals across multiple dating websites and social media platforms to maximize romantic opportunities and financial exploitation potential. The romance farming catfish had developed sophisticated identity management and communication systems that allowed simultaneous operation of multiple romantic relationships across different platforms while maintaining consistent persona development and avoiding cross-contamination between different romantic targets. The multi-platform farming scheme involved sophisticated time management and relationship coordination that would maximize romantic engagement while minimizing the effort required to maintain multiple simultaneous deceptions across various dating environments and social media platforms. The catfish had been particularly focused on identifying the most financially promising targets across different platforms and concentrating manipulation efforts on individuals who demonstrated both emotional vulnerability and substantial financial resources that could be exploited through romantic deception. The scheme extended to creating platform-specific persona variations that would appeal to different demographic groups while maintaining core identity elements that would allow efficient management of multiple romantic relationships without personality inconsistencies that might expose the systematic nature of the operation. The catfish had also been developing automated communication systems and template responses that would allow efficient management of large numbers of romantic relationships while maintaining the appearance of personal and spontaneous communication with each individual target. The multi-platform romance farming operation was discovered when targets from different platforms began comparing notes about their romantic experiences and realized they were all communicating with the same person using coordinated deception strategies across multiple dating environments. Our 27th story comes from someone who discovered they had been emotionally manipulated by a catfish using fabricated terminal illness stories to generate sympathy and financial support while creating emotional urgency that would discourage verification and promote immediate financial assistance. The fake terminal illness catfish had researched medical terminology and treatment procedures extensively to create convincing illness narratives that would appeal to individuals willing to provide emotional and financial support for supposed medical challenges and treatment expenses. The terminal illness scheme involved sophisticated understanding of medical procedures and treatment costs that would make illness claims appear authentic while avoiding verification through actual medical documentation or treatment facilities that could expose the false medical narrative. The catfish had been particularly focused on creating medical crisis scenarios that would trigger immediate emotional responses and generous financial assistance from romantic targets who believed they were helping someone face serious health challenges, with limited time remaining. The scheme extended to creating fake medical communications and treatment documentation that would support illness claims while generating ongoing financial requests for medical expenses and end-of-life planning costs that would appeal to compassionate romantic partners. The catfish had also been researching specific medical conditions and treatment protocols to make medical conversations appear credible while avoiding commitments to actual medical treatment or healthcare verification that might expose their actual health status. The fake terminal illness catfish was discovered when the target decided to verify medical claims through healthcare facility research and discovered that medical providers and treatment facilities mentioned in the illness narrative were fictional or had no record of the supposed patient. Our 28th story involves a catfish who was using wedding planning scenarios and marriage proposal discussions to extract substantial financial investments from romantic targets who believed they were contributing to legitimate wedding expenses and future marriage planning. The wedding planning catfish had researched wedding industry costs and marriage planning procedures extensively to create convincing marriage scenarios that would justify substantial financial requests for wedding venues, planning services, and marriage-related expenses. The wedding planning scheme involved sophisticated understanding of wedding costs and marriage procedures that would make marriage planning discussions appear authentic while avoiding actual wedding planning activities or marriage verification that could expose the false marriage intentions. The catfish had been particularly focused on targeting individuals who had expressed strong interest in marriage and family relationships, and who had substantial savings that could be directed towards supposed wedding expenses and marriage planning costs. The scheme extended to creating fake wedding vendor communications and marriage planning documentation that would support wedding claims while generating ongoing financial requests for venue deposits, planning services, and marriage-related expenses. The catfish had also been researching specific wedding venues and marriage planning services to make wedding conversations appear credible while avoiding commitments to actual wedding planning or marriage verification that might expose their lack of genuine marriage intentions. The wedding planning catfish was discovered when the target attempted to verify wedding venue bookings and marriage planning services. Discovering that all wedding-related claims and vendor communications were fabricated to extract money for fictional marriage planning expenses. Our 29th story comes from someone who discovered they had been manipulated by a catfish using fake military deployment stories and service-related challenges to generate emotional connection and financial support while creating believable explanations for communication limitations and meeting restrictions. The fake military deployment catfish had researched military procedures and deployment conditions extensively to create convincing service member personas that would appeal to individuals seeking to support military personnel and who were willing to provide emotional and financial assistance for supposed deployment challenges. The military deployment scheme involved sophisticated understanding of military operations and deployment procedures that would make service claims appear authentic while avoiding verification through actual military documentation or service records that could expose the false military identity. The catfish had been particularly focused on targeting individuals who had expressed support for military personnel and who had substantial financial resources that could be directed towards supposed deployment expenses and military family support costs. The scheme extended to creating fake military communications and deployment documentation that would support service claims while generating ongoing financial requests for emergency assistance and military family expenses that would appeal to patriotic and supportive romantic partners. The catfish had also been researching specific military units and deployment procedures to make military conversations appear credible while avoiding commitments to actual military verification or service documentation that might expose their civilian status. The fake military deployment catfish was discovered when the target decided to verify military service claims through official military records and discovered that the supposed service member had no legitimate military history or deployment record. Our 30th story involves a catfish who was combining romance scamming with fake business venture proposals designed to extract investment capital from romantic targets who believed they were supporting legitimate business opportunities with romantic partners. The business venture romance catfish had developed comprehensive understanding of business development and entrepreneurship to create believable business propositions that would appeal to romantic targets seeking both relationship development and investment opportunities. The business venture scheme involved sophisticated business terminology and development procedures that would make entrepreneurial claims appear credible while avoiding actual business operations or performance verification that could expose the fraudulent nature of the business propositions. The catfish had been particularly focused on targeting individuals with substantial investment capital and business experience who could provide both romantic relationship and business investment that would support supposed entrepreneurial ventures and business development projects. The scheme extended to creating fake business planning documentation and investment tracking that would support business claims while providing apparent business progress that would encourage additional financial investment in fraudulent business ventures. The Catfish had also been researching legitimate business development strategies and entrepreneurial procedures to make business conversations appear authentic while avoiding verification through actual business operations or investment performance that could be independently confirmed. The business venture romance scam was discovered when the target decided to conduct comprehensive business verification and discovered that all business ventures and entrepreneurial claims were completely fabricated to extract investment money through combined romantic and business manipulation. Our 31st story comes from someone who discovered they had been targeted by a catfish who was specifically focusing on individuals within certain professions to create targeted romantic deception that would appeal to profession-specific interests and lifestyle preferences. The profession targeting catfish had researched various professional environments and career cultures extensively to create romantic personas that would appeal to individuals in specific professions like healthcare, education, or finance by demonstrating understanding of professional challenges and career-related interests. The professional targeting scheme involved sophisticated understanding of profession-specific terminology and workplace culture that would make conversations and interests appear authentic to individuals within targeted professional communities while avoiding actual professional knowledge or experience that could be verified through workplace connections. The catfish had been particularly focused on targeting high-income professions and individuals with substantial professional networks who could provide both financial resources and professional advancement opportunities through romantic relationships and professional connections. The scheme extended to creating fake professional credentials and workplace communications that would support professional identity claims while avoiding actual professional networking or workplace verification that might expose the false professional background. The catfish had also been researching specific professional communities and workplace environments to make professional conversations appear credible while avoiding commitments to professional activities or workplace verification that might expose their actual employment status and professional background. The profession targeting catfish was discovered when the target attempted to verify professional credentials through industry databases and professional networking. Discovering that all professional claims and workplace documentation were fabricated to create false professional compatibility and romantic appeal. Our 32nd story involves a catfish who was using fabricated religious identity and spiritual beliefs to target romantic partners within specific religious communities and faith-based dating platforms. The fake religious identity catfish had researched various religious traditions and spiritual practices extensively to create convincing religious personas that would appeal to individuals seeking faith-compatible romantic relationships and shared spiritual values. The religious identity scheme involved sophisticated understanding of religious terminology and spiritual practices that would make faith claims appear authentic while avoiding actual religious participation or spiritual verification that could expose the false religious identity. The catfish had been particularly focused on targeting individuals within religious communities who had strong faith commitments and who might be more trusting of romantic partners who shared their religious beliefs and spiritual values. The scheme extended to creating fake religious participation records and spiritual community connections that would support religious identity claims while avoiding actual religious community involvement or spiritual verification that might expose their lack of genuine faith commitment. The catfish had also been researching specific religious communities and spiritual practices to make religious conversations appear credible while avoiding commitments to actual religious activities or spiritual verification that might expose their actual religious background or lack of genuine faith. The fake religious identity catfish was discovered when religious community members attempted to verify the catfish's religious participation and discovered that their claimed religious involvement and spiritual community connections were completely fabricated. Our 33rd story comes from someone who discovered they had been communicating with a catfish who was operating a sophisticated multiple account network across numerous platforms to maximize romantic targeting opportunities and create comprehensive romantic deception operations. The multiple account network catfish had developed systematic identity management and coordination strategies that allowed simultaneous operation of dozens of romantic personas across different dating platforms and social media environments, while maintaining consistent deception strategies and avoiding identity cross-contamination. The network operation scheme involved sophisticated time management and communication coordination that would maximize romantic engagement opportunities while minimizing the effort required to maintain extensive deception operations across multiple platforms and geographic targeting areas. The Catfish had been particularly focused on creating demographic-specific personas for different platforms and target audiences while maintaining central coordination that would allow efficient management of extensive romantic deception operations, without personality inconsistencies or communication conflicts. The scheme extended to creating automated communication systems and response templates that would allow efficient management of large numbers of romantic relationships while maintaining the appearance of personal and spontaneous communication with individual targets across the entire network operation. The Catfish had also been developing data management systems to track romantic relationship progress and financial exploitation outcomes across the entire network to optimize deception strategies and maximize financial returns from systematic romantic manipulation. The multiple account network operation was discovered when targets from different platforms began sharing their romantic experiences and realized they were all communicating with coordinated personas that were part of a comprehensive romantic deception network designed to maximize exploitation opportunities across multiple demographic groups and platforms. Our 34th story involves a catfish who was using sophisticated verification document forgery and false credential creation to support their fraudulent romantic persona through apparently legitimate background verification that would pass casual investigation attempts. The document forgery catfish had developed professional quality document creation capabilities that would produce convincing fake identification, employment verification, and educational credentials that would support their romantic deception through comprehensive background documentation. The verification forgery scheme involved sophisticated understanding of document security features and verification procedures that would make fraudulent documentation appear authentic, while avoiding detection through standard background checking and credential verification processes used by cautious online dating participants. The Catfish had been particularly focused on creating comprehensive documentation packages that would support all aspects of their fraudulent identity, while providing apparent verification for romantic targets who conducted thorough background research before developing serious romantic relationships. The scheme extended to creating fake institutional websites and verification services that would support fraudulent documentation through apparently legitimate verification sources that would confirm false identity claims during independent research and background verification attempts. The Catfish had also been researching document security and verification technology to ensure their fraudulent documentation would pass increasingly sophisticated verification methods used by security-conscious romantic targets and professional background checking services. The document forgery catfish operation was discovered when advances in document verification technology revealed the fraudulent nature of identity documentation, leading to investigation that exposed comprehensive document forgery designed to support systematic romantic deception through false credential verification. Our final story comes from someone who discovered they had been targeted by a sophisticated long-term relationship fraud designed to gain access to inheritance and estate planning opportunities through extended romantic manipulation and potential marriage fraud. The inheritance access catfish had researched estate planning and inheritance procedures extensively to identify romantic targets with substantial assets and inheritance potential who could be manipulated through long-term romantic relationships and potential marriage arrangements. The inheritance fraud scheme involved sophisticated long-term planning and relationship development that would create legitimate romantic relationships leading to marriage and legal access to assets and inheritance opportunities through spousal rights and estate planning manipulation. The catfish had been particularly focused on targeting elderly individuals or those with substantial family wealth who might be vulnerable to romantic manipulation and who could provide access to significant financial assets through marriage and inheritance arrangements. The scheme extended to researching estate planning and inheritance law to position themselves for maximum financial benefit through romantic relationship development and potential marriage fraud designed to access family wealth and inheritance opportunities. The catfish had also been developing long-term relationship strategies that would create authentic emotional connections while maintaining focus on ultimate financial objectives through inheritance access and estate planning manipulation. The inheritance access fraud was discovered when family members noticed suspicious relationship development patterns and romantic relationship timing that seemed designed to coincide with estate planning activities and inheritance opportunities. leading to investigation that revealed systematic romantic manipulation designed to access family wealth through marriage fraud and inheritance exploitation. That concludes tonight's collection of 35 stories about the deceptive world of online dating, where people create elaborate false personas and sophisticated schemes to manipulate others emotionally and financially. These situations remind us that while technology has created wonderful opportunities to connect with others, it has also created new ways for dishonest people to exploit trust and vulnerability. Sweet dreams, and I'll see you tomorrow night with more fascinating tales from Reddit.